Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Victor, the author of the File Soldier series of novels. And for those who've joined us recently, this is a platform you'll find quite interesting if you love literature and all the lovely mood that is derived from enjoying good fiction. I mean, the world building that is involved in every writing quest, the art of fleshing out the characters and making them feel real and authentic. And for those who have been here for a while now, you might have noticed that every episode is accompanied with getting to learn about the setting that aligns with the various scenes in the particular novel. Now today is yet another day where I sit down before you and read a snippet from one of my novels, and this is basically a continuation of the previous vlog where I read before you a certain extract from my first book, that is Survive, the debut in this series. So I'm going to start right away reading from chapter 1 of the first book, my debut. So I'm an ex-German Special Forces expert in unconventional warfare. I have an IQ of 170. Even creepier, I'm clairvoyant, meaning I'm a seer of things invisible to the eye. But these abilities place me in the list of most wanted men for whom a dozen terror groups are hunting. The Shrine Tango movement, a faction seething with secrets and covert dealings, is such a group. Mr. Howard Green, the STM's boss, lures me with a €5 million reward to solve the so-called X-Files secret chain. Apparently, it's a chain he intends to employ in designing a high-tech spacecraft from which a biological weapon known as the Night Blight will be released on selected locations in the United States of America, Israel, and Ukraine. But I'm too stubborn to embrace that quest, and that affords me misery in all its shapes. The STM embarks on a plan to make my life a living hell, with a catch me if you can mindset. I screw up things. An excellent card is drawn. This beholds me in the grasp of a fugitive fleeing to save his own soul. Not even my closest buddies can come to my rescue, for they are all blacklisted, set to face the very same music. If destiny has two ways of crushing us, then it's but the boards of our choices that truly light the roads we travel. My name is John Taylor, and folks, this is my story. It's a seemingly gloomy September 10th of 2001. This is how it all began. In the STM's quest to create a new generation of extremists, back in 1999, I'd been kidnapped, ferried and deposited into an indoctrination camp in Afghanistan for specialized training in jihadist ideologies ahead of my deployment to the X-Files secret chain. But I was never good at losing focus. 2 years later, I had secretly managed to secure myself a scholarship to study at Harvard Medical School. A summer correspondence and received from the institution during spring indicated I had been scheduled for winter intake. Registration dates were nearing, but one thing was certain: they would never have allowed me to leave in pursuance of such ambitions. In the guise they wore, you would assume they would. It would be pointless. Escape was the key, the only way, a clear death sentence. No one had ever attempted such a thing before and beaten the odds. The misery that spanned doom took shape in the forenoon of the 10th of September 2001. I called to mind I had just emerged from some moorland 15 miles east of the dreaded Kudus Mountains. As things stood, my escape from the STM's Kudus indoctrination camp had excited friction between myself and Mr. Green, who was the boss of the Shrine Tag-Off movement, you recall. And Mr. Green had thus sworn I would pay for my actions in blood. So we moved to Kandahar International Airport in Afghanistan. The airplane headed for New York, and taxiing along the parking bay at the airport streamed out jet efflux foreign to its nature. It was a Boeing aircraft, the latest in the 2A incorporated modern fleet. So it was 19:20 p.m., that is 7:20. So the space about the passenger cabin was meager, and the passengers aboard seemed vexed. I was among them, had to be, by dint of being a master of my own game. A lady about 25 sat beside me. To the left was an old woman. The little girl accompanying the woman planted me strange stares. The arithmetic on my left hand confused her. She appeared transfixed. I was born with 6 fingers. In the cockpit, 2 male pilots, Wesley and Collins, sat conversing in low tones. The lights on the instrument's console flashed over the pedestal, illuminating the flight plan. There was that little girl, Molly by name, 7 years of age, she told me. And as we began to get used to each other's odor, she talked to me more than she did to her grandma. I'm a post-axial polydactyl. For that reason, she asked me such questions as why my supernumerary digit had not joined, if I had seen any vampires, why my torso appeared bulky, or where I was headed to. To have beguiled time in response to little Molly's questions, I confess, was to stimulate minds of curiosity on her part. But I claimed to have encountered vampires in Canada and lied I was headed for a town called Devil's Kettle. I resolved to keep her confused and scared so she would leave me alone. Easy task. That didn't take me long. Her creativity gotten off by a persistence I had not seen coming. Deep slumber was what was to be her due. In the cockpit, the visors were ready. Appropriate news. Tribute to my clairvoyant abilities, I saw it all in my subconscious mind. Collins engaged the differential throttle and steered with brakes and rudder. Giving the signal for takeoff, he unlocked the steering wheel and taxied to the takeoff threshold. It struck 9:30 p.m. and by that stroke, the moon was full, the sky was blue, and the stars confirmed their delicate twinkle. So that marks the end of my today's vlog. Thank you for listening up until the next episode of Survive. Goodbye.